Hello, welcome to Hawthorn Cottage Craft. This is episode 59. I'm Kate. You're very welcome here. If you're a new viewer, it's lovely to see you. I hope you enjoy what you see. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different, which I'll explain in a moment. But if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. It's lovely to have your company again. I hope you enjoy what you're going to see today as well. As I said, today's episode is a little bit different. It's not a normal podcast, but as many of you know, in September, my friend Selma, who is Little Bignets here on YouTube, Selma came over to visit me for 10 days and we had a wonderful road trip, and this video is really all about our trip. It's just a memory and a diary of what we did over the 10 days. So if you're happy with that, you'll get lots of Selma content, lots of Willie content, and yeah, we had an absolute blast. She arrived here the 11th of September, I think, sometime around then, and we spent a few days around here. I live in Northern Ireland, very close to Belfast. So we did a few things around here. We spent a morning at My Knit Morning in Whitehead at Lighthouse Yarns. We went to visit the Linen Museum in Lisburn with my friend Jackie. We spent a morning at Folklore Yarns with our friend Helen. And well, we actually spent the day. It was started off as a morning and ended up as a full day of just chat and knitting and having a good time. And then Selma and I headed off on our road trip. So I hope you enjoy what you see. There's a lot of scenery, there's a lot of wool content, as you can see, and there's a bit of chat in the middle. But if you're here for a normal episode, you need to go back and look at one of the previous ones. But I really do hope you enjoy spending time with Selma and I as we travel around Ireland.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. on laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden. I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things.
The road trip begins. Selma and Kate on the road. There we go. Hello everyone.
Walk up the river by my son. Feet step over splinters of the moon. Golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Gold birds, gold string, gold words, gold anything, golden. I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things.
Free flowing, sailing with the wind, not knowing how this story ends. Kind and brave, I know you'll find a way. Live your truth and good will come to you.
Selma. We are
Kate.
halfway through our trip, and it's about time we actually sat down and talked some knitting, because I think we have shown a lot of footage already, and hopefully you'll have seen the beautiful but wet and extremely windy Connemara. But you're very welcome to Ireland.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on this. I think I talk about you fairly often, so it's nice to have you actually beside me.
I might mention you a few times here and there too.
Yeah, we kind of like each other. So we are going to talk about knitting and what we've been working on whilst we've been here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to start with what you've been working on? One of them?
What have I been working on? Well, one project that I was hoping to finish, and I will, but I haven't finished it quite yet. I'm about this far away from finishing it, although the end is a little slow, is a sweater that I've been working on called the Fiorellino. This is a fairly new pattern by Isabel Kraemer, and it's a round yoke sweater with a little bit of a raglan detail here, and it is knit out of Mayak Fiorellino, which is a Tibetan cloud, yak, and linen combination that I got at Knit City, Montreal, and I'm just almost at the end of the second sleeve.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I had hoped to be able to make the sleeves a little longer, but they come just at before the elbow, so a little bit of a longish short sleeve. Mm-hmm. I had kind of hoped for 3/4 length sleeve, but I literally am going to end up with a little bit of a nugget. So perhaps I'll finish today. The second sleeve seems to be going very slowly.
I would say you will finish today. Today we're leaving Connemara and driving to Cork, and you'll have almost a 4-hour drive.
Yeah. So what I need to do is count the number of rows before I get to this fancy bit here.
I hadn't noticed. That's a really pretty design.
Yeah, so it's the same detail that's in the yoke, and then you finish the body of the sweater as well as the sleeves with that. And it really is very pretty. And it fits nicely.
Colour theme?
There's a colour theme in my life these days, for sure.
Yeah.
And yesterday I was wearing a scarf that was in the same family. Yeah, it's interesting how we go through these phases, and I seem to be in a terracotta kind of phase.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's a really interesting texture of yarn. It looks like rustic yarn.
It does. It looks like something like Jameson and Smith, for example, in the actual fabric, but it's soft as anything.
Yeah,
it's a different combination of yarn as well. This is a Tibetan cloud, which I'm assuming is the down of the yak, and yak and linen. So a very different yarn.
Very different yarn, but it has that look.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
I'm going to be very curious to see how this wears. My initial feeling was that it's going to pill a lot, but I'm actually doubting that. I'm going to be very curious. So yeah, that's my main project that I'm hoping to finish, and it's been mostly stockinette going down the body on the trip, so it's really quite an easy project to get through.
We have done quite a few miles over the last few days, and we've done quite a lot of knitting, as you will have seen. We had a few knit mornings and
knit evenings
and spending time with friends and knitting. So you've had the opportunity to work on that one.
Yeah. So that's my work in progress number 1. What about you?
Right, work in progress number 1 for me is this. Now, if you watched my last episode, you will have seen this yarn. It's Wild in the Woods Aran yarn, and it's Canadian yarn. It's a very Irish Canadian themed trip, and I had started the Minimi Designs sweater, the basic V. And it was lovely, but anyone who knows me knows I don't gauge swatch, and I am here with the sweater queen. And I hadn't gauge swatched, and Selma got me to try on the sweater. She said, that looks a little bit big. And it was more than a little bit big. It was huge.
It was also stiff.
It was.
And I was like, are you going to enjoy wearing that?
Because I wasn't particularly enjoying knitting it. I had felt I was knitting on a 4mm needle.
No, it was a 5mm needle.
Was it?
Yes, and you've moved
It
to
was
a 5.5, I think.
5mm needle, but it was quite a stiff fabric and not enjoyable on the hands to work with. So I ripped it out just before we left home and decided to cast on another Minimi Designs pattern. It's the Ebony sweater.
It's an older design, actually.
Yeah,
It's one of her...
and it's more a tunic.
It's like a tunic vest.
Yeah.
It's got a shawl collar or some sort of a
Yeah.
collar detail.
And it has a front kangaroo pouch pocket, or does it have two side
it's
pockets?
2 pockets, but they almost look a bit like they're going to be a kangaroo.
Yeah. So it's absolutely beautiful. So I thought we would get that, and I had my Ma's was sweater guru, as I said. You worked out what size I should be knitting, and I really need to take her a workshop. If you want to know anything about sweater knitting, this is your moment. So we have cast it on, it's bottom up.
And it's fitting.
And it's fitting. We tried it on last night, and it seems to fit. And at the moment I'm working in stocking net up the part of the body. What's going to be interesting for me with this sweater is it's the pattern. It's a pieced sweater. It's knit in pieces and seamed, but I was advised to knit around. So I'm having to do a lot of jumping back and forward in the pattern just to get, I can knit so far on one piece, but I'm knitting further in stockinette on the back, and it's just...
Right, it's the front where there's going to be the
front where
details.
there's a lot of detail. So I'm kind of having to move back and forward, so it's just getting my head around that. But it's so far so good. It'll be interesting once the pattern starts whether I can still sustain that, but I think I should.
I think the shaping will be different. The shaping will be the same on both sides.
Yeah.
It's just the pocket detail.
It's just the detail at
So you
the
just
front.
have to figure out, first of all, which one is the front.
This is my front. I have that
This
figured
is your
out.
front.
Yeah, that's back. It doesn't really matter.
Oh, I see. This is the front. Yeah, and you can just indicate it or whatever, and then make sure that you add the pockets to that.
Yeah. So that is what I'm working on. I think it will be really lovely. It'll be a really versatile.
It's really. I've been wanting to knit that actually for
yeah.
such a long time, so I'm excited that you're making it. At least one of us is making it.
Yes. So yeah, it's just the fabric's much nicer now. It's that little bit airier.
Yeah, because now you're using a 5.5, I think.
Yeah.
So it's just making a slightly. It's not that the other one was super stiff, but it was stiff enough in a chunky yarn that, and that's not. This is not a soft yarn. This is a rustic yarn.
And
so
what's interesting, is that this is knitting up almost as a light bulky yarn.
Yeah.
And it is iron. And I think the pattern's for a bulky yarn. I think it's the recommended. So this is working well with that pattern. So yeah, that's the first one. So at least now for, I think about 6 inches, I'm just knitting round and round and round, which will be perfect for the next few days.
Yeah.
Because I'm not getting quite the same knitting time.
She's getting the driving time.
I'm getting the driving time. I am the chauffeur.
You are, and a fabulous chauffeur to boot.
Thank you very much. So, what else are you working on?
Well, the other thing I've been working on, this I don't work on in the car because it requires the pattern to be out and sitting on the table or something. is a pattern that I cast on a few weeks ago in incredibly sheepy smelling wool from,
City girl.
I'm a-
City girl.
It smells-
That's not sheepy.
It is so sheepy. It's so sheepy. I am knitting the Smookie by Kate Davies.
That's stunning.
And I actually only brought the third ball. This is the third ball of yarn. I just started it a few rows back, and I'm just at the point where in the pattern it's a straight pattern bottom up, and you start increasing to create sleeves that come a little bit further down, or to create the drop shoulder, and it comes a little bit further down, and I've just started that, and it's going really well. I actually kind of wish that I had brought one more ball, because now that I'm in the groove of the pattern, it's just going so much faster that I could easily work on it more. I'm going to, what day are we now? We're like the 17th or something, and I'm here until the 29th.
This is Wednesday, I believe.
Right. Anyway, I've got another, I don't know, 9 days, 10 days, almost 2 weeks actually.
You do. You move on from me on
2
Saturday,
days,
and then
yeah. So I've got a lot of time to knit, and I'm thinking I could have really gotten quite far on this sweater, but I didn't think I would. So I'm going to be in a bit of a funny situation, because I will have used up the yarn that I brought with me, finished the other sweater.
But can I point out, she is not short of yarn with her.
We'll talk about that in a
We'll
moment.
talk about that in a moment. No, that's a beautiful pattern. That has tempted me.
It's such a beautiful pattern, and although I bought the book, Sark, that it comes in, you can actually buy the patterns individually on her website. So
That's very good.
That's good to know for other books,
Yeah.
that I might not have access to, because her patterns really are wonderful.
They are.
I'd say the only thing is the majority of them, if not all of them, I don't know because I haven't read through every single one of them, but they're pretty much always bottom up. Even her yoke sweaters.
Her yoke sweaters are definitely, I mean, I've knit 1 or 2 of her yoke sweaters,
Yeah.
and they are.
Yeah, and I trust her, so I'll go for it, but I do prefer a top down.
I normally do, but I really like the way she works her yoked sweaters.
Yeah. There's another one in that book that I really want to make. That is a yoked one, so we'll see. Anyway, that's my second work in progress. I did not bring socks on the trip. I brought big sweaters.
I brought socks, but I'll talk about those in a moment. My other work in progress is a cast on that I did for the trip. And this, I was just saying to you earlier, is a real Irish-Canadian collaboration kind of project, and really reflects everything about this trip in many ways. I'm knitting a shawl, which
Even
is
the bag,
Even
even
the
the
bag. That's actually true. The project bag is by the Lakeside, who is Canadian. Hi, Sandy. So I decided I would cast on a shawl, which is something I haven't really done a lot of in the last few years. I used to knit a lot of shawls. And I normally would have socks on the go, but I decided this time a shawl would be a nice change. And I decided to knit the Enniskillen shawl by Brenda Brayfield. And Brenda is originally from Northern Ireland, but is now living in, and for a long time has been living in Canada. So there's just that Irish-Canadian feel there. And the shawl that she designed was the Enniskillen shawl, and Enniskillen, we drove through it on Sunday, and it's close to where I grew up. So Brenda very kindly gifted me this pattern because of that, and I felt it was the appropriate pattern to cast on. And last Saturday we were in Folklore Yarns in Belfast, which is on Bloomfield Avenue, and I bought this yarn, which is Irish Artisan Yarns. I think I have our label here. Oh, we've 2 cameras going, and I've realised that I'm probably playing more to one of them than the other. So it is 75% superwash merino, 25 nylon, and the name of the colourway is Bloomfield Avenue, which is where Folklore is situated. So I cast on the shawl, and it's really nice. I've been working on it this morning.
It's coming out so nicely.
Yeah.
So pretty.
So it's
That's the back
lacy.
there?
Yeah, I think it doesn't make a lot of difference because it's garter in between all the lace. So the increases are going to be on this side, and then there's this lace edging, which it's nice that it's getting worked along with the pattern.
It's really pretty.
So it's really, really pretty. And that is now my morning knitting rather than socks.
Shawls are so fun to knit.
They are, and it's funny, I that's what I really started out. When I started to knit a lot, it was shawls. Before I really had the nerve, to start into sweaters. And I have a lot of shawls, and I think over the last year or two I haven't worn them that often. But I've kind of brought them out, and I'm starting to wear them again, so I thought a nice fresh shawl would be something to work on.
Yeah, we were both commenting that we just don't really knit shawls anymore.
No.
And I have a hankering for making a shawl, and I'm hoping to at some point in this next year.
It used to be my main project, and I would have had socks as my minor project. I think now it's either socks or a shawl.
Right. They both fill the same purpose.
Yes, because I always have to have a sweater on the needles.
Yeah, sweater knitting has grown a lot in the
Yeah.
last few years.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's my works in progress. Have you any finished?
I have nothing finished.
I'll show my finished
You
one,
have
and then I
something
will
finished.
let you show your acquisitions maybe on this trip.
Sure.
This part of the trip.
This part
I'll
of the
show
trip.
mine later. But I finished my FAIRGROUND socks.
They're so beautiful.
They are, aren't they? They are so pretty. Really, really pleased with them. The pattern is by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears, and the yarn is from the Cozy Knitter. She had created the kit with Sandy up by the lakeside, and I just love them. I love this pattern.
And the colours are so crisp and lovely and really show off the
They
pattern
really
nicely.
do. It's a really good pattern for self-striping.
Yeah.
I did my usual 64 stitch, 2x2 rib, 15 rows. I knit my socks in a 2.5mm needle, which is a 1.5 US. And then it's a pattern. The back of the foot obviously is plain. And I did do the heel that is in the pattern, which is unusual. I don't normally do that. It's a butterfly heel, and it was a really straightforward pattern. It's a really nice heel, but it doesn't fit me particularly well. It's too shallow, and I wanted, once I had done the first one, I wanted to keep them both the same, obviously. So I have finished them and I will wear them, but I think it is going to feel a little bit shallow on my heel.
It'll be tight on the bridge of the
Yeah.
foot.
I really like the heel flap and gusset. It is my go-to heel. But I'm really, really pleased with them, and I'm glad I've got them finished now on the trip as well.
So this yarn, was this a special edition yarn for the bag, or is
Yes.
it actually... Oh,
Yes.
too bad.
But I think the Cozy Knitter still may have some of the kits in her shop. I'll link Sandy's shop and the Cozy Knitters, and then you can check. But I know she had been doing more kits for the Cozy Knitter. And I think the Cozy Knitter has some festivals that she might be doing. I'm not sure, but I'll leave the links.
Beautiful.
So yeah, really pleased. It's just a really lovely little pattern. And it looks intricate.
Yes, it does.
but it's really simple. It's a 4-row repeat. And really simple. So that is what I have finished since I got here. I will show my stash later on, but would you like to show some of the things you got?
Well, when we were in Folklore, they had beautiful yarn spun for them by the Donegal Studios, or whatever. What are they called? The Donegal.
It's Donegal Yarn Company.
Donegal Yarn Company.
Spin for Studio Donegal as well. So it's a similar yarn to Studio Donegal.
So I ended up buying this beautiful blue. Oh my gosh, what was it called? I don't remember. Was it a pretty blue? Sky blue or something like that? You were wearing, we had been talking about the Felix sweater by Amy Christoffers, and I made one years ago. And I like the sweater, but the yarn that I chose at the time, which I can't remember right now, pills a lot. And I also ran out of yarn. I find the sweater just a little bit short. So I thought maybe it's time to make another Felix. And I wanted a project that would be, a fairly simple, mindless, straightforward project for travel knitting. So I ended up buying a sweater quantity of this yarn, and
really suits you. That colour is gorgeous.
Pretty blue.
With your eyes.
Pretty blue. I looked at a lot of the colors. There were so many beautiful colors, but I ended up settling on this one. I was looking at a brown. I really wanted a brown sweater,
Which
but
was
then
almost
almost like
brown.
that. And then I opted for this, and I thought it'll be a fun pop of color.
There's so much colour within that. There's red.
Yeah,
darker
there's
blue.
lots of things. So I've just started the neck. Obviously, I'm not focusing on this right now. And these are borrowed needles from Kate, and I will buy 6mm needles probably in Cork when we go to the Carol Feller Studios there. Anyway,
Not that we're excited.
and then I'll give you back your 6mm needles.
I know,
So-
because she needs to get them back. I am short of needles. I have so few needles.
So
if she
yeah.
goes home with them, it'll not really be a big deal.
So that'll get focused on a little bit more once I have finished the Fiorellino. And then what did we do? We went to this lovely place called the Wool and
Sheep and Wool Centre.
Sheep and
Connemara's Sheep and Wool Centre.
Yeah, lovely place that is, from the outside, it's really a shop and cafe, but you can also have a tour or sort of, what would you, not really
It was a
tour,
demonstration.
More of how wool is made, as well as spindle and
Weaving. Yeah, there was spindle and
spinning.
Spinning wheel, the history of this kind of, in Ireland, of the spinning wheel, the old spinning wheels to the newer ones, I suppose, and then weaving.
So we worked. We were with a woman who showed us
Yeah.
these different things, and we also tried them out. Actually, I didn't bring my little bit of spindle.
No, I'm gonna talk about
spinning,
mine.
which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the shop there, I ended up buying something.
It's so much
Great.
fun.
It's so fun. I saw this. It's not from the area. It is from Ireland, but it's from Kilkenny, and from a small batch of mohair producers. And when I saw this, I just fell in love.
You did.
With it.
You
I just
looked at it and walked away, and looked at it and walked away, and
I kept thinking I shouldn't buy this, but they had a teapot cozy that was made out of this, and I realized this is actually quite a thick yarn. Like this could definitely be knit on like 4 to 5 to 6 millimeters even. So at first I thought, oh, this would be a great sort of like just simple raglan sweater that could be worn with a white shirt and just be a pop of color. I've also been thinking about knitting a Chanel jacket, so this could be.
I link the episode of yours where you talk about your jackets and the fact that you're thinking of the Chanel jacket, and I think this This would be stunning. That would
Yeah.
be such a fun jacket.
Because it's a boucle yarn. And so we'll see if this ends up becoming a Chanel jacket or a simple raglan sweater. I'm not decided yet, but I'm kind of looking forward to finishing the ribbing of this sweater, the Felix sweater, so that I can swatch with the 5mm and see what happens with this yarn, and what is this yarn saying that it wants to be.
I thought I had the attention span of a flea.
Like,
Just let's put on all these little things, and then he goes, oh no, I'll swatch that, I'll swatch this, swatch that.
yeah, that's fun. That's part of the
It
fun.
is part of the fun.
Yeah, it's playing around, right? And seeing what does this want to become. So far, those are my 2 yarn purchases. So far.
Yeah. I've only purchased one yarny thing, but I'll show it to you later. I've been very good, but I'm saving myself for Carol Feller.
That's going to be dangerous.
Really
I think.
looking forward to that.
That is going to be dangerous.
And we're not sure yet whether we'll get to Hedgehog Fibres. We might. We're planning to, but possibly.
Right.
We had planned to go to the Iron Islands,
Yes.
and yesterday we possibly could have gone, but I still think it would have been quite...
Yesterday would have been the day to go because the wind was definitely
was down.
down, and we didn't get rain until later in the day. But we had already kind of made our decision to go to Bridget's Garden
Bridget's
instead.
Garden, yeah.
We had a lovely day.
Yeah, we did have a lovely day, and the weather here has been... It's been mixed, but more on the side of rain and wind. The first night was very stormy.
Oh, the house was just... It felt like we might whirl away.
And you felt as though buckets of water were being thrown against the window with the rain. Yet the weather app said it was drizzling, which was very funny. But it's still stunningly beautiful here, and
It really is.
we
It's
are
absolute-
literally surrounded by sheep. They're outside the window. Yesterday we got to pat the sheep.
You did, for
I
sure.
did. They came over to the fence, which surprised me, and stood and tolerated my patting and rubbing and putting my fingers through the fleece, because there's a mix of breeds, and some of them are really long haired with they're just lovely.
Beautiful. Black faces and all fluffy.
Oh,
they
and
look like
big
dolls.
horns. So it's been fun. But today we move on, and to the next phase. We're going to stay with our friend Jean in Cork, and looking forward to that. So thank you for joining my little episode today.
Thank you for
and
having me.
It has been a pleasure.
When was the last time I was in Ireland? It was
2019.
Yeah.
Not that I have it marked. 2019. I was last with you in 2022. We're marking down.
In Canada, and
Yeah.
this time here on this side of the water.
Yeah. So I'll talk to you later and catch up with all the other things we have done. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you stayed through all of that, thank you so much. It was really, really difficult to condense our trip into this length of time. It's a long episode, I am very aware, and thank you if you've stayed throughout it. But when I came home and uploaded all the footage, I had over 2.5 hours, so I have tried to condense it as much as possible. But before I left, I wanted to just show you the little bits and pieces that I got woolly related on our trip. You will have seen that we had some really good woolly time. And it started off, I'd shown you when I was talking to Selma about projects, the yarn I'd gotten folklore yarns and that I'm knitting the shawl with. I also picked up in folklore yarns West Yorkshire Spinners new Christmas yarn. Mulled Wine is the colourway. Look at the sparkle. So this is, I think it's their new colourway, but it's certainly a Christmas colourway I haven't had. So that'll be a pair of Christmas socks, I hope. So that was picked up in Folklore Yarns. It's an amazing shop and we had such a lovely time in it. I've been in and out before, but never really stopped for very long. But I really enjoyed my time there, and since I've come home, I've gone to their knit morning and really enjoyed that. And it's just nice to talk to people about knitting and yarn and patterns and to get excited about such things. So Folklore Yarns in Belfast is definitely a place worth visiting. But I had got that and the Irish Artisan yarns that you saw earlier. Sorry if you hear extra noise. I'm not on my own in the house today. You also saw that we went to the Sheep and Wool Centre in Lenan in Connemara, County Galway. And it was such an amazing place. It was lovely to get shelter in it. As you saw, we had very wet weather and that particular trip was extremely wet when we arrived. But we got in there and apart from the shop, there was a section of the centre where you could go and see spinning and the history of the spinning wheel and in Ireland the Donegal wheel, and there was a bit of weaving and we had a lovely time. Elizabeth is a Dutch lady who has been living in Ireland a very, very long time, and she was just a wealth of information and she was so enthusiastic for her craft. You couldn't leave without being really enthused about yarn and what to do with it and making it and how to use it. And as you will have seen, we got to play with the drop spindles, and I have a drop spindle. I've drop spindled a little bit at home, but not particularly well. And she was letting us try it out there. And her husband had made her one of the spindles, and she gifted it to me, which was really kind. So it's a beautiful weighted spindle, and I think that's what I really liked about it. And this is some of the Galway wool that was on it that I was trying to play with. So I'm going to have fun now playing with this, and there's a lovely memory of the fact that it came from Connemara and was part of our trip. And it's really inspired me to try and get back into the drop spindling. It was just so much fun to try it all. And her, as I said, her love of yarn just transferred. Whilst I was there, I also picked up some hand-dyed yarn that had been dyed locally. Ruam, I'm assuming that's the pronunciation. This is dyed with madder root, and this one was madder and heather. And it turned out that the lady serving in the shop, it was her sister who hand dyed this. But I just thought it was really lovely to have a yarn that was dyed with plants and natural extracts that had been found in Connemara. They're obviously not only found in Connemara, but this was local. And Loved the colour, slightly different colour than I would normally pick, but I thought this would make a beautiful hat. So I have about 130 grams of it, 140 grams. So that will make a really nice hat. And that's all I got there. It was very good. There was lots of other yarn there. They carried a lot of Donegal yarn, and I think because I can easily access Donegal yarn, I wanted something a little bit different. We also, as you saw, went to County Cork, and we stayed with our friend Jean. And whilst we were with Jean, she brought us to Hedgehog Fibres, which I'd never been to. And you will have seen there that we got some boucle yarn. The three of us got a skein of it, and the three of us have cast on with it, and I'll talk about it more in the next episode. And this one particular skein is meant in it the Dust Bunny cardigan, which is a Hedgehog Fibres pattern. So I'm well on with that, and I will show you it, as I said, in the next episode. So I got that, and I also got one sock yarn from there. It was from their garden club in July. Shades of pink and green, and I got one of their little minis, which is Seed is the name of the colour. Oh, don't know if you can really see that colour. It's cream based with pops of colour through it, and I thought this would be a nice contrast for a pair of socks. Hedgehog Fibres, seeing it all in one place with just walls of it was just stunning. Their colours are beautiful, and they had so many samples. They had so many samples that you could try on shawls and sweaters, and that's what we loved about the Dust Bunny. We got to try it on, and the three of us, who are very different shapes, loved this one sweater. So we'll see how it turns out for us, but it was just so much fun trying on things and seeing how the colours played out, how the yarns worked up into different garments. We also, on our final day in County Cork, Selma and I met up with my friend Orla, and we met her in Stolen Stitches, which is Carol Feller's shop, and we had a good chat with Carol, and I think it's Emer. I think it was Emer. But oh my goodness, that was so much my happy place. We had all the beautiful local yarns, and I bought this one, which is the Blast Delight, one of Carol's yarns, and Briac is the colour. Again, my pronunciation is probably wrong, but it's this beautiful blue. It's a fingering weight yarn, and I have put some footage in of a sweater that I can't remember the name of it now, but the blue sweater from Stolen Stitches, I'll put it on here, that you'll have seen earlier, is what I'm going to knit this into. And I got to try it on, and it was really nice on. Soft Trails, I think is the name of it. And it's a Carol Feller pattern. And it was just so beautiful and airy knit up that I'm really looking forward to this becoming that. So I have a sweater quantity of that. And this is her, now if I can get the pronunciation right, Gallev. And it's the Galway yarn. This is the Irish for Galway. And the Galway sheep is our native sheep. Quite a rare breed, and Carol has been able to dye some up, get some of the yarn and dye it up, and the colours Gallev, this beautiful green, and I don't know what this is going to become, but I have a sweater's quantity. It is a very rustic yarn. It's not, certainly not merino soft. It'll be very much an outerwear garment, but it's just stunning. And to know that it's a a breed that there's a group of people in Galway that are trying to preserve this breed of sheep and promote it now and get help to making sure that this breed doesn't die out. I'm really glad to support that. So that is my Galway yarn. So I didn't do badly on the trip away, and I was also very fortunate that when Selma arrived, she had also brought me a gift of a sweater's quantity of some Canadian yarn. And this is Alley Cat Yarns. There is a certain amount of glare. But Alley Cat Yarns, she's an Ottawa dyer, which is where Selma's from. So it's Ottawa yarn, and it's Canadian BFL alpaca sport. So this is grown and dyed in Canada. And the colour is meadow, and it's, green. I can't go wrong with green. So I have a sweater's quantity of this, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to knit with it yet. But we'll see. So that was the Yarny purchases during our Yarny road trip. We had an absolute blast. Everybody we met and everybody we got talking to and spending time with, it was so much fun. I had such a wonderful time with Selma. She went on to England after she left me to teach at a knitting retreat in Falmouth, and I will link you to Selma's channel and you will find her episodes regarding that. It was a wonderful time and I miss her and wish we could spend more time together. Knitty friends really are the best friends, and we had a lovely time. But I could ramble on, and this has already been an extremely long video. So thank you again if you've stuck it out to the end. I really appreciate that, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be a normal one and hopefully a lot shorter. And until then, enjoy your knitting.